up, Alta Mesa Schools? Mr. Miller with your Monday morning announcements, and welcome back to just another fantastic week. Just another great week. We ended last week so well. Fifth graders, you guys went up to Lassen with Mr. Fulton, had a great field trip up there to Manzanita Lake. It was beautiful up there. The temperatures were perfect. I'd like to thank Mr. Fulton and also our board member, Mr. Wright, Troy Wright, who was up there accompanying us, and all the parents who came and chaperoned the trip. Just a fun day up there in the park while you got to learn as well. Beautiful up at Lassen National Park. Guys, we got another great one for you this week. I'm not gonna lie. It's like just a great, you know, coming to school every week at Alta Mesa is just like that great experience that because you guys are creating this culture. And this culture where we're proactive, where we talk about character traits every week. We talk about those 7 habits. This month, again, we're focusing on proactive. Once we get out of proactive, we're gonna think about what the end in mind and win-win and all these different things. But this month, we're focusing on being proactive. You might even see me come around the classrooms and film you guys being proactive, because at the end of the month is our board meeting where we're gonna be talking about that. But that's a little bit further down the road. This week, we got a lot happening for you. We have our first cross-country meet, which we'll talk about in a second. But you know, as always, when we start our Monday morning announcements, we start with our character reminder, which our character trait for the month of August and September is empathy. Empathy. So I would like to throw it over to a friend from Mrs. Brewer's class, Miss Rylan Tyler, who is going to share a poem about empathy with us. Take it away, Rylan.
Let me hold the door for you. I may have never walked in your shoes, but I can see your soles are worn, your strength is torn under the weight of a story. I have never lived before. Let me hold the door for you. After all you have walked through, it is the least that I can do.
All right, thank you, Rylan, for that excellent poem on empathy. Great things for us to remember this week as we go through this week, and a great thing to connect to as well, and being proactive. All right, guys, now it's time. Let's hit the music. Well, all right, guys, we have quite a bit of shout outs this week, so I'm going to go through them. I want to give the proper time for folks' shout-outs, but at the same time, I got a lot to go through. I might even have to take like a water break halfway in between. But starting it out in our shout-outs, Piper Pagan from Mrs. Haig's class. Piper's worked hard on her iReady math diagnostics. She used several pieces of scratch paper to work through difficult problems. Way to go, Piper. Caden Collins. Caden is always thoughtful in his responses when asked questions in class. He's a great example for his classmates when he responds in complete sentences. Great job, Caden. Leo Martinez. Trying his best when running in PE, even when it's hot outside. Way to go, Leo. Lily Shakravi in Mrs. Brewer's class. Lily does her very best each day, and I love hearing what she has to contribute to our class discussions. Way to go, Lily. Anthony Clayton. Anthony is always doing his best to crack his egg in blooms. Way to work hard, Anthony. In Mrs. Duke's class, she just wants to give an entire class shout out to everyone who did it. Everyone did a fantastic job on their Unit 1 math assessment, class average of 88. Hear that accurately, 88% for the entire class average. Great job, Mrs. Duke. And Mrs. Duke's class. Ms. Randolph wants to give a shout out to Rhett Pagan. Rhett has been so helpful in class and has been incredible at sharing out and helping others. Great job, Rhett. Oliver Leak, also in Mrs. Randolph's class. Oliver has stepped up as a leader to his class and has been so kind to others. Great job, Oliver. In Mrs. Schmidt's class, we have Sparrow Chavez. Sparrow has been a great friend and intentionally looks for kids that need to be invited to play. Great job, Sparrow. Maceo Madrigal, also in Mrs. Schmidt's class. Maceo has continually worked hard in class and is such a great example to his peers. Great job, Maceo. Moving to Mrs. King's class, David Rodriguez Flores. David worked very hard on his iReady math assessment. He used effort to write down and solve math problems to get the correct answers. Way to go, David. And Roberto in Mrs. King's class. Roberto has been taking responsibility for his learning by working to learn the daily schedule. Really great job, Roberto. In Mrs. Lindsley's class, Jacob Morales had an amazing week being proactive and getting into the green zone, even when things were rough. Great job, Jacob. Tyler Feaster also working really hard and being proactive to get in the green zone. Great job, Tyler. And a big shout out to both Miss Lindsley and Miss Hulman's 5th graders. Great job up there. Mr. Fulton said you guys are the cleanest group according to Mr. Fulton, cleanest group up there. Way to go, 5th graders. And I would like to give a shout out to Mrs. Lindsley specifically. I'm going to show a before and after picture. Mrs. Lindsley is our garden club advisor this year, along with Miss Kate. And Miss Lindsley came in this weekend on her own time and cleaned up the garden. So she spent time with her significant other in there. They were cleaning like crazy in there. They were getting everything out of it. They even had to brave snakes in the garden. I didn't want to tell Miss Lindsley this, but earlier this year we caught a rather large lizard in Mrs. Schmidt's class, and I actually released it out there. I don't think he's there anymore. I don't think there's anything to worry about, and he was very kind. So he was a very kind lizard. But we did release back there, but he sounds like he's gone, but you just saw some snakes out there. So thank you, Miss Lindsley. Big shout out this weekend to Mrs. Lindsley in the back garden as well. So now let's head over, as the shout outs are done, let's head over to our cafeteria ladies to let us know what Reading's finest school cafeteria is serving this week.
Hi guys, Miss Claudia here.
Miss Lori.
Miss Megan. And we're gonna go over the menu for the week. Monday we're gonna have chicken and waffles. And for lunch we're gonna have chicken nuggets.
Sorry, Tuesday we're gonna have a muffin.
And for lunch we're gonna have orange chicken.
Wednesday we're gonna have a parfait.
For lunch we're gonna have a burrito with refried beans.
Thursday we're gonna have an egg and cheese muffin.
And for lunch we're gonna have lasagna casserole.
Friday's Cook's Choice as always.
And for lunch we will have pizza and a special treat. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, so like I said earlier, for announcements for this week, we have a lot of different things happening this week. We have our first cross-country meet. So for those of you who are in kindergarten through 5th grade, cross-country, your first meet is actually on Thursday of this week. Sorry, was almost going to say Wednesday. Thursday of this week at Lassen View. Make sure you check with your coaches on your start times when you need to be there. We also have our normal clubs and sports happening this week. So cross country you will be practicing, as well as STEM club. We do have garden club, which is coming up in the upcoming week. So there's still time to sign up. I know Miss Lindsley was busy this weekend in the garden cleaning it up. We're excited for the start of garden club happening this week. Want to remind you guys that we have two more weeks of raffle ticket sales. A reminder to you as well that for every 5 tickets you sell, you get to pie me in the face. We will have a day I will sit outside with a trash bag on, and it's just like there just is a lot of pieing going on in the face. So for every 5 tickets, you get to pie me in the face, and that is coming up soon. The riffle raffle will be done at the end of next week. So you got 2 more weeks to sell. Also from Boosters is the class that sells the most riffle raffle tickets also gets an ice cream sundae party. So not just if you individually you can pie me in the face for every 5 tickets sold, but your class can also potentially win a ice cream sundae party. So that's pretty exciting as well. And then we need yours and your parents' help. We have some things happening coming up in the next couple weeks, guys. So at the end of next week, we have our family game night. So family game night is coming up, and that is going to be on September 29th. That's a Friday in the gym. So family game night, free pizza, games. We give out a lot of games, so it's a good way to start the year. But then also in October, we are bringing back our movies at the Mesa. And so we actually, in the newsletter this week, so you can remind your parents, you can help me remind your parents that there is actually a poll or voting going on for what movie we're going to watch October 20th at Movies at the Mesa. So that's Friday, October 20th. We're watching in the evening. We got the blow-up screen. Everybody can bring their lawn chairs, and we will watch a movie here at Movies at the Mesa. So we are very, very excited about that. Movies at the Mesa here at Alta Mesa, October 20th. Super excited about that. All right, guys, it's gonna be another great week here at Alta Mesa. We have a lot of things happening, but it's going to be amazing. Let's remember those things on are the things that we have learned thus far on what it looks like to be empathetic, what it looks like to put yourselves in the shoes of others, to make sure that when we're interacting with our fellow classmates or our teachers, that we're thinking about how is this person receiving what we are doing? How can I think about things from different perspectives? That also leads into what we talk about being proactive, right? If you can put yourself in the shoes of another and say, what is this person having to deal with? How should I treat them with respect and with love and with integrity? That is being proactive. So those things blend together. So remember, guys, let's remember those things. Let's go out there and let's make this the best week ever.